I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fam's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one chief rocker in Knicks universe. Your man, Uncle Freezy. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly. Right? Okay. Shout out and salute to the members of the channel that help support and keep this thing rocking and rolling. Shout out to Corey Lee and Miss Geraldine. Right? Shout out to the other members of the channel. Right? Shout out to those that come and rock with us, the family members. Shout out to the hip-hop legend called Mega David L. What's good, man? How are y'all? Right? All right. So, how important is it for the Knicks to win 50 games? How important is it for a franchise that is in its 77th season to win 50 games for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. How important is it for a team that's in its 77th season to win 50 games for the 14th time out of 77 years? How important is it? Does winning 50 games make you relevant? Is 50 games a standard? Let me move some of this stuff around here. I got too many things open. Hold on. Too many things open at once. All right. So the Knicks win percentage in 77 years is 48%. So for those keeping track, over the years, the Knicks record as a franchise averages out to about 39-43. So over the course of this franchise's history, we were about a 39-win team over the 77 years. About a 39-win team. No biggie. Franchises have their ups and downs. You know what I mean? That's not the point that I'm getting at. What I want to ask you is, how important is it for this team to try to win 50 games? Does it look good? Is it just one of those things that look good in a record book? And I'm asking because, quite frankly, if the team wins, say the team wins 47, 48, 49 wins, is this season a memorable season? Is this season one of those seasons you look back on and say, hey, son, or hey, grandson, that 2023 team was something special? Right? Is it important for you as a Knicks fan to say, hey, son, or grandbaby? Let's say baby. Hey, baby, or grandbaby, or great-grandbaby. That 2023 Knicks team was really something. Or is this one of those seasons that's kind of like, one of the mid seasons where the team was we went to the playoffs, we lost in the first round, and we got something else to complain about during the summer? I'm asking you, and I'm framing the question because I want to get you guys' feedback. Right? I want to get you guys' feedback. You guys tell me what you think. Because I had been thinking about this since we logged off early. I had to go put my legs up, man. Yeah, I'm that, man. Yo, don't ever if you in the chat, if you're an athlete, don't ever get hurt. If you're an athlete, like if you play tennis or you shoot hoops or you bowl or you play golf, don't ever get hurt, man, because being hurt is like it's the worst feeling, because you want to do something and now you can't. Don't ever get hurt, man. So if you new here, consider subscribing to the channel, smashing the like button, coming and hanging out with us. How would you like this season to be remembered? And does winning 50 games help you remember this season more fondly, say, than you would as if the Knicks remaining 16 games, they play 500? Right? If we play 500, basically 500 the rest of the way, we're about a 47-win team. Millionaires Entertainment, appreciate you. Shout out to Millionaires for the new sub. how fondly how fondly are you going to remember this season? And for what reason are you going to remember this season? Are you going to remember this season as the Jalen Brunson breakout season? And when you try to explain it to people, are you going to say something along the lines of, yeah, we won 40, Jalen Brunson broke out, but the team only won 47 games? Like, how do you explain it? How do you explain this season? And I'm asking, I'm not trying to lead you, mind you, I'm not trying to lead you into thinking one way or the other. I want to put some things out there so y'all can help me, kind of help coach me to this point where I'm gonna make my own. Y'all know me, man. Y'all that have been around me for long enough understand that Uncle Freezy is like Tom Thibodeau at times. He's stubborn. You know, I'm stubborn, right? I like to make up my own mind. I like to think for myself, right? But sometimes we get into these weird things where things happen where you just need advice from others. And so here I am. So here I am with kind of asking for some help here or there, about how we should envision this season, right? Anthony D is in the building. Anthony D, the host and creator of Old School Knicks, Sunday mornings at 11. Shout out to Anthony D. That man is so smooth, he does not require a chaser. Do the Knicks need to win 50 games in order for this season to be considered a memorable season? Does this team need to go to the Eastern Conference Finals for this season to be considered a memorable season? What does this team have to do in order to get to a point where it's not just a non-losing season? Right? Because when I look back, I have the records pulled up right here in front of me. I'm using Basketball Reference. Excluding the bubble season where we were 41-31, the last good season, this team was 54-28. Right? There's no way we'll reach that record. We'd have to go 15-1 the rest of the way in order to be 54-28. And that's the Knicks tape season. And then before that season, before Knicks tape, oh my God. Before Knicks tape, oh my God. Before Knicks tape, I feel like I'm a vomit in my mouth. Before Knicks tape, before the Knicks tape season in 2012, 2013, you have to go all the way back to 2000, 2001, where the team was 48-34. Lost in the Eastern Conference first round. Right? Do you want to be considered? Do you want to look back at this season like the 2001 Knicks? The 2001 Knicks that won 48 games, right? And lost in the Eastern Conference first round. Is that how we were going to remember this season? I'm asking. I'm just asking a friend. Somebody help me. Miss Geraldine says it will only be historical if we won it all. Okay. Okay. So the bar is set. The bar is set. Miss Geraldine says it'll be historical if we win it all. The bar is now set. That's the high. That's the peak. That's the pinnacle. Winning it all makes this season historical. What about memorable? Is this a memorable season? Right? What about memorable? So Corey Lee says, I'm here to. Okay, all right. Let me put this on here. Okay. All right. What about memorable? Do you remember that 48 win team from 2021? That means from 2001? I don't. And they won 48 games. I honestly don't remember that 2000. I honestly don't remember that 2000 that 2001 team. I can't remember who was on that team. I can't remember why that team was important. Lee, what's good, boss?
What's good, bro?
Ain't nothing to it. Just just thinking about how important or just I guess I'm not pontificating because that's not because I'm not really talking to express a point. I'm more interested in how this season and I'm talking about the regular season as its own entity and then the playoffs as its own entity because we're going to make the playoffs, right? But I'm
No
thinking
doubt.
about the like how should we remember this season?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And then how should we remember the postseason when it occurs, right? As far as the postseason goes, I guess the postseason will be what it is once we get there. But this season, Lee, I ain't gonna lie, I have the vibes that this season should be memorable and last season should be forgettable. But last season is memorable.
Mm.
right?
Very much so.
Because of the way that the season played out.
Excuse me. Yes, sir. Now, ready for me to reply?
Yeah, man, it's just on you.
Okay, now let me tell you, this is why this season is memorable. Because for all of what was said during the whole off season, like we should have had Donovan Mitchell, and how we were the laughing stock of this league, and how this league just drug us through the mud, and how we slowly put the pieces together to be this juggernaut that which we are at this particular moment.
Okay.
Not only that, which now
I got you, Eddie. Hold on for a second.
I'm sorry, which now have us looking, you know how I say you can't see the forest before the trees. Now we can somewhat see the forest, which we may have to travel through in order to get to where we want to be.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And knowing.
Let me bring AD in real quick, and then we'll rock. Okay.
Salute to the OG.
The J Boogie it, baby.
Yeah, man. getting our groove on, right? Yeah, man. Just rocking and rolling. Bars.
It's an honor to be on here with you, AD.
It's always an honor to be with you, Corey Lee. It's always an honor to be with
Superstar.
Crazy. You know, Knicks fans out there, they'll make me laugh.
Superstar, man.
They'll make me do it. But I had to hop on for a few minutes. I need to ask you, why are you passing out bouquets? You know, you out here. What was my man with Dallas back in when they played Buffalo? When he started cakewalking after he picked it off.
Oh, Leon Lett.
Leon Lett. You out here Leon Letting the Knicks.
Hot
You
stepping.
out here Leon Letting the Knicks right now. We haven't gotten anywhere yet, fam.
See, it depends on the way you look at stuff.
Well, I'm looking at it as you are Leon letting us right now. Go ahead, Corey.
And I'm looking at it as if you are the Cleveland Browns.
Ernest Biner?
No. It depends on what Ernest Biner.
Yard for the touchdown. For the touchdown.
Yeah, you talking about the Ernest Biner that fumbled on the one?
Oh,
yeah.
Gosh. Oh,
that guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No matter how this work out, man.
That was a great running back too.
Yes. Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack.
For real.
You remember them?
Yes, sir.
Yes, double trouble.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. The first ground and pound.
The original ground and pound.
Yeah.
Yes,
They had two all-pro corners. Remember the all-pro corners?
Yep.
Frank Minifield and Hanford Dixon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Dixon. No, they had a good team. That Browns team was a good team. That Browns team just had the misfortune of running into Denver.
And then Kansas City after that.
Yeah.
Next few years, Kansas City with Marv. Yeah. People don't remember Marv Levy coached Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about before he got to Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he took the Buffalo job, and then Schottenheimer took the
Kansas City job.
Kansas City job.
Yeah, because remember Schottenheimer was a wonder kid back then.
Yeah.
You know, we realized that, you know, the best of him would be 13 to 14 wins, which in the regular season, if you win in 12 to 14 games, you know, regularly, you are going to the playoffs.
You're a solid team.
That man, Lord, that just snake bitten. Just absolutely snake bitten, yo.
And see, that's the point. That right there that you just said is the reason why I don't know how to feel about now. Listen, in this moment that we're in, I feel great. Right? Your team done won 9 in a row. You knocking off contenders. You know what I'm saying?
Pretenders.
Either way, some chicken tenders, whatever they are. You know what I'm
saying? Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So but the thing is, so I feel great in this moment, but I don't know. Like something is telling me that I should be ranking this season up there with the Pat Ewing seasons.
Yes, sir.
And then
didn't like that.
But at the same time, Lee, something is telling me like, whoa, easy, big fella. You about to compare a Julius Randle season to a Patrick Ewing season?
Hold on a second now. Now, to back up my argument of all of that is, you got to remember when Pat really came into his own, he was about the same age as Julius Randle, give or take a year or two. You understand what I'm saying? And they had the surrounding pieces, a la Mark Jackson and them young players at that time. You know what I'm saying? Even with the Gerald Wilkins and even the young John Starks. You understand what I'm saying? We were coming into our own. We had a decent management. We had a decent management then too. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't remember, Lee, you don't remember when Pat Ewing was 28, you don't remember who was on those you don't remember who was on those teams outside of Mark Jackson and Cartwright and Oakley.
You come on, man, don't play me now. You got me in front of the OG who knows it all too. Come on, I don't play me out like that now. Come on now. I go back further than that, but you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna argue this point right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the Gerald Wilkins, who else? The Sidney Greens. The oh my God. The Gerald Wilkins, Sidney Greens.
See what I mean? See?
Oh, calm down. We still have my man, the light-skinned dude, who won the slam dunk contest, number 7. I just can't think of him. No. He went to Kentucky. I just can't think of his name right now.
Jacob Toppin.
Obi Toppin.
Nah. Yeah, you're funny. You're funny. But it's okay. I don't mind being the butt of this joke.
I'm not trying to. No, listen, I'm not trying to make you the butt of the joke. I'm saying to the conversation, like exactly what you just said. When Pat Ewing was Randall's age, let's assume 28, right? 28. When Pat Ewing's 28-year-old season, the Knicks were 45 and 37, right? Do you remember that team when Pat went? Do you remember that 1989-1990 season? Like, does that season stick out to you?
Yes, it does, because I remember because we had Michael Jordan on the ropes and Patrick Ewing broke his ankle.
Who?
Pat Ewing broke his ankle in the playoffs.
Broke his ankle?
Yes. Yes, he did. He broke his ankle in the playoffs.
Okay. You mean with a move?
Nah, he came down on his ankle and he broke his ankle.
Oh, but that wasn't against. I don't think that was against the Knicks.
No, it was.
That wasn't against the Knicks. That was his. That was Jordan's
no, that was
second.
That was
season.
Pat. That was Pat rookie year. Yeah.
Right. That's
it was the playoffs.
Year. No, that's Pat's rookie year. Pat's rookie. Pat didn't sniff the playoffs for 3 years until Patino got here.
Right.
Yeah, but it was right.
No,
it was right before
he breaks the ankle, but it's not against the Knicks. It's
against the Bulls. You mean?
Yeah. Well, the Bulls.
No. You talking about
No, it was in the Eastern Conference semifinals, and he broke his ankle.
You talking about Patrick Ewing broke a ankle? His own?
No. Yes.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh my God!
Ewing's his breakages or his injuries. That one came. The big one came against Andrew Lang.
It broke his wrist.
Right, against his wrist
against the Milwaukee
Andrew
Bucks.
Lang is Milwaukee in a regular season game.
In a regular season game, yeah.
I know that. That was 99.
That's 98.
That's 98.
98, 99. 98, 99.
Right. But he doesn't. he doesn't break his ankle. His only injuries up. I don't want to say only, but he had the knee injuries.
Yeah, y'all need to go back, bro, because I remember him breaking his ankle against the Bulls.
No, he doesn't.
No.
In the playoffs.
He doesn't.
No.
He. I know what you know what you're thinking. Oh, Corey, you know what you're thinking, and we discussed this a little bit this past week. He sprained his ankle against the Bulls in '92.
Yeah.
Right. Where he has his Willis Reed moment in Game 6.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He did
All
do
right.
that.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he came back in the same game.
Yeah, he comes back in the same game, but he's no good for Game 7, even though he did score.
Exactly, and we had him on the ropes.
Right.
My fault. I might be 4 years, 2 years, 4 years in between. I might be wrong because I'm getting older, like you fellas.
Now, and plus we all have to. Lee, we got to jog our memories, bro, because we don't watch so much Knicks basketball that some of the stuff run together. So I'm with you. I'm with you on it. But that series though is not just because Pat sprained. We didn't have them on the ropes because of that. We had them on the ropes because Michael Jordan came into the series with a sprained wrist. You remember that? Yeah, he came into the series with a sprained wrist.
He comes in with a sprained wrist, and the Knicks were underdogs. Because if you remember, that Game 1 is in Chicago, and it's one of Ewing's best games that no one talks about.
Ever talks about.
Yeah, where he hits Cartwright with the crossover. On the wing, he hits Cartwright with the crossover on the wing and does the two-handed power double pump, bang, and that was like the arrival. Like,
I'm here.
The Knicks are ready because remember he had just did away with the Pistons.
Yep,
you're right. You're right.
Yeah, just put the Pistons away.
And the Celtics.
That series was the peak of John Starks' elite level defense. As time went on, Starks was still a very good defender. But that hungry Starks that used to come off the bench was an elite defender.
He blocked Michael Jordan's jump shot.
Yep. That right there. And just real quick, see, when you're a guy coming off the bench and you have just one role, you just the energy guy off the bench providing defense, that's what Starks was then, right?
Yeah.
But as time went on, Starks had to become a secondary ball handler, playmaker, pick and roll with Patrick Ewing.
Yeah,
that's the other guy.
Yeah,
somewhat.
Yeah. So his defense kind of, I'm not gonna say declined. I'm gonna say the more responsibility he took on, the less he was able to do this one thing at a high level. I'm just gonna put it like that.
Also, too, now, come on now. Let's look at this too. The Jordan rules came more of effect towards the Knicks than the Bulls after that point. If you understand what I mean, the physicality, the way we played them, the way we attacked them, the way we
left. Yep.
Exactly.
Cut off the wing, force him.
Exactly. So now the way we were officiated was totally different. The way they looked at John Starks as a villain and not as a guy trying to shut down the almighty, you know what I'm saying, Michael Jordan. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, they're able to get away with that kind of play. One, because they had imported dudes that fit Ewing's personality, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
And the second thing was they had a dude on the bench that won 4 championships.
Yes.
So he was pushing, because if you remember that, him and Phil Jackson, they were like going at it with the war of the words in the paper, and
Peter Vesey.
Vesey and Riley was calling them soft, and the referees, and because remember Phil Jackson back then on the sideline. Phil Jackson was a madman on the sideline.
Yeah.
Phil from the Lakers, who was just sitting down and having Jim Clemens and them coach the team, him get up every now and again. Phil with Chicago, with the Knicks and Detroit. That man was a madman on the sideline.
Phil with the suspenders and the ugly
ties.
Oh, what?
My God. Yeah.
Disgusting ties.
Yeah.
That man was thoroughly into coaching his team.
Yep.
Thoroughly. So that made for all that recipe made for a good gumbo.
Yeah.
Because if Riley's not the coach of the Knicks, let's say somebody else the coach, they'd have never gotten away with half of what they got away with.
Yep.
It's the respect that he brought. It's the credibility that he brought to the organization at that time.
Yep.
It's like
as bad as I want to push back against you, I cannot argue that.
He brought him everything. He brought them the Knicks City Dancers.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yep. Yeah.
They weren't about that life.
There are a lot of things, bro. Lee, that's why I'm asking this question, right? And I'm asking the chat. I'm talking to Il Maddox and Nick Yak and everybody, bro. How do y'all feel about this season? Like, do we need to win 50 games in order for this season to be memorable, or is this season just gonna be one in the number? Like, we played Milwaukee in the first round, and maybe we put up a small fight and we lose, say, 4 games to 2, and then in 5 to 6 years we look back on this season like who played the 2 again? Who was the 2 guard?
We're just not. It's unless we have a knockdown drag out. See what I'm saying? If this team doesn't have a knockdown drag out game 7, how can it be memorable? How can this season be any more memorable than the 2013 Melo season?
That season and that season. Hold on, let me bring in Dre real quick. Hold on. What's up, boss?
Yo, I'm chilling.
Yeah. What's
Is that Dolan's face? I see.
That's Dolan in the Gold Members Club right there. That's Dolan in the Gold Members. Yeah, you mess around and get Hey, AD, what do you get when you said you get lobster sandwiches up there? I ain't never been up there.
Dude. I went there. That I think was the 54 win season.
Right.
In the blue, what they call it, the Blue Club or something like that.
Right.
Crazy. I was damn near putting lobster sandwiches in my pocket.
That sounds like that Denzel Washington video. I'm leaving here with something.
I'm leaving here with something. I promise you, dude. I'm sitting on the side, and all of a sudden, Dolan comes through. I'm sitting. I got like 2-3 drinks. Well, the drinks I'm buying, but I got like 2-3 drinks. I'm greedy. And here comes Dolan. Dolan's walking through like 2-3 in security. Gives me the head nod. Give me the what up. I gave him back the what up.
He like, what up, AD? he like Dolan like old school Knicks. Old school Knicks.
What up, James?
That's Jimmy.
What up,
this right here. That's Jimmy right here, though.
Jimmy and the Stray Cats. What's the name of the group? The Stray Cats.
The sharpshooter, whatever they are.
Something lead singer.
Hey.
That man takes no interviews after the set. That is like, yup, we're done. We're done here. I've done my thing. I'm out.
Right.
That was my mood after we beat them Celtics, though. Oh. Well, minus the substances that he allegedly has steered clear of for the last 20-something years.
Well, you know what I'm saying. He got to do what he got to do. But that might have been a night to be tempting. Like shorty, you know what's about to go down here tonight. Crack that VOSP.
Right. No, not right there. Get that step stool and get up on that top shelf.
Get that step stool and get up on that top shelf.
That top shelf. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, so Dre, basically what I was asking the fellas is this, and I'm not asking to create a narrative. I'm not doing that. Because ultimately what I want Knicks fans to do, and for y'all in the chat, right? To enjoy the season the way you want to enjoy it, because for the first time in a long time, we actually have something that's worth enjoying. So knock yourself out, right? What I'm trying to figure out is because think about this. When we think about Knicks tape, when we think about the Knicks tape season, the 54 and 28 season, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think about?
What?
For the one thing in my mind that sticks out about that season is Carmelo Anthony getting stuffed at the rim by Roy Hibbert.
I think the issue you're having with it when you compare it is, was that team sustainable? At that time, we had the oldest team in the league.
Right.
Right now, our
Exactly.
team, like
And we
the
were
main
robbed.
guys.
We were,
Yeah.
and
I was gonna
Drake,
say,
just real quick, we were
yeah,
robbed because we didn't get a part two of it.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Part two was supposed to be Bargnani, by the way. Two first rounders for him, by
Part
the
two
way.
was supposed to be Iman Shumpert for Kyle Lowry. Before Kyle Lowry takes off in Toronto, that was supposed to be part two.
That was supposed to be part two. Yeah.
But somehow they came away with Bayani.
No, you remember? No. The part two before that was Iman Shumpert was supposed to be what Jimmy Butler is, but Jimmy Butler just lapped him. Remember, we used to compare as fans. We used to compare the two. I used to talk so much shit to I used to talk so much junk to Bulls fans about how Iman was better than Jimmy Butler, and that age horrendously.
It was a decent comparison at the time because they both extremely athletic. If not, Iman at that time was probably the most athletic dude in the league.
Yep.
You know, with extremely long arms
outside of LeBron, but yes,
and so forth.
I would have put Westbrook over him at that time. Westbrook and
but he's
D-Rose
right
before they.
He's right.
Yeah, but he's right there. Yeah.
Echelon, but
right.
he could never develop the mid range
or a feel for the game. Like I remember D'Antoni tried to make him a point guard. Remember?
And Woodson.
Then Woodson kind of made him like a part of the 3-point brigade.
Yeah.
Because the Knicks led the league in makes and attempts that year, if memory serves me correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. We kind of set. We almost before the Warriors did. We kind of set a precedent. I think we were like the first team in league history to make more threes per game than have turnovers per game.
Okay.
In that year.
Right. It was some craziness.
That was part of Jason Kidd and Pablo Prigion and all those old point guards we had that took care of the ball and maximized our possessions, the threes.
Facts.
Which is it's kind of funny because you never really think of Mike Woodson being an offensive coach, but he actually was a pretty good one.
He was a very good one.
Mike just at that moment, because remember, he takes over for D'Antoni, and he doesn't do anything different. He just kind of, the only thing he does really different is he convinces Melo to play the 4 or to play more 4.
At the same time, he's talking to Amari about playing some more 5.
And playing, when Amari could play.
When he could play.
Or did play. Right. Or didn't self-injure himself.
Right. It was a lot of that stuff. There was a lot of trying to move these parts around because there was no cap flexibility to bring in help. There was no cavalry coming, so we had to make adjustments to the roster. So on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And AD and if I remember correctly, is that Chris Copeland too?
Mm-hmm. No.
Copeland's on that team.
I thought Copeland came after the fact. He was after the next year because that was Novak.
Nah, Copeland's on that team too. Novak is on that team, but Copeland's on that team. Copeland starts out somewhere in training camp because remember he comes from I think France or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere in training camp, it was like is that dude hitting threes?
This dude is bombing away.
He's bombing away, and he came in a couple of games. I can't remember for who got a, because you know we got hurt a few times during that season, and he comes in. Copeland hits a couple of big threes in that Indiana series.
Yep. And Indiana, let me bring my guy in real quick. Yo.
What's good, Adam?
What's good,
What up, Adam?
Corey? What's good, Dre? AD, what's good? Uncle Freezy Boss, what's good?
What's good, boss man? AD was chopping it up, man. I'm sorry, AD, for cutting.
No, I was saying that Copeland had a couple of threes during that that series. You see what I'm saying? But the major difference between this team and that team is the age, of course.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And what that team did to rip it apart. Because does anybody remember that Grunwald was the vice president or president of the Knicks at the time?
Right.
Yeah.
That was
And
after
Grunwald
guy
gets
from before.
fired. Grunwald gets fired on like almost the eve of the season.
Right.
We always fire our presidents at the worst times. We let them get fired at the beginning of the season or right after the draft.
was it because of the fact that him and Checkers couldn't get along?
Checkers had been going like 10, 15 years ago. Grunwald comes in. Grunwald is actually Isaiah Thomas.
I'm thinking about excuse me, my fault, Ernie Grunfeld. That's
Ernie, right. Grunwald is Isaiah's dude from Toronto. Okay. And I think they played on the same Indiana team, if memory serves me correctly. So that's where that connection comes in. I can't remember why was he still here during that time, but there was some shakeup, and next thing you know, he's in the big chair. And he built that team, that 54-win team. That's Grunwald's team. And the major pieces outside of Kidd is under 30.
Facts. Matter of fact,
the major pieces on that team outside of Kidd, Melo, JR, Felton are under 30.
And what's up?
I wanted to say one more thing because my bad, Lee, but that team really had one All NBA performer. This one has two playing at that high octane level. Right now.
But also too, wasn't the Falcons GM, the Hawks GM on that same team?
Landry Fields?
Yes, sir.
No.
He was on the team 2 years earlier, and he had to retire early because he had like some sort of nerve issue in his shoulder or something like that, his arm.
Well, he got the nerve issue because of that big bank that Toronto made him shovel to the bank, that big bag that he had.
Oh yeah.
He's I don't think
they poison pilled this for him. That's crazy.
Yes, they did. Yes,
but
they did.
That bum. That's crazy. Like they did that all for 10 and 6.
Thing. The thing about the poison pill thing with the Knicks, man, Knicks fan, and I'm talking to Dre. Let me talk to Dre specifically, bro. Yeah. Dre, the Knicks had a season and a half to give Landry Fields money, and they didn't because they felt like Landry Fields was a second-round pick, and they could maybe find him Landry Fields anywhere USA. And then when they got down, and then when they got down to the wire, all of a sudden You know what I'm saying? Everybody is scrambling like, and then Knicks fans are like, well, Landry Field left because he took all that money. The Knicks could have offered him less money earlier, and this would never have been an issue.
So he's like
And
a worse version of Brunson.
no. Actually,
I mean the scenario.
No. It's actually probably the same version as how they did Mitchell Robinson. You remember how they You remember how they could have paid? Remember, Mitch was a second-round pick, right?
Yeah, we could
have
been paid him.
Yeah, Mitch had a contract that was a 2 + 1 + 1, and his dumb first agent got him that stupid contract with the team options instead of the player options.
Right, we had
and that's why Mitch kept.
I was gonna say we had him on a Bad Boy Death Row Records type deal.
Yeah, a Death Row 360 deal.
Yeah, 360. I'm about to say
like Danny Boy singing on Everybody Hook. How? He's singing on Tupac and Dr. Dre and Snoop stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that's how.
Pause, Danny Boy.
yeah, boy. Oh Lord, have mercy.
But what I'm saying is ultimately. Jeremy Lin, Landry Fields, Mitchell Robinson, all these contracts could have been handled. Trevor Ariza,
yes,
all these contracts could have been handled different. All they could have done, all they had to do was like, hey man, we know you got a 2 + 1. When a +1 come up, what we'll do is we'll tear that up and give you a long-term deal and you give us we'll give you the years if you give us the money discount, right? Like we'll give you 4 for 20. Right, and Landry Fields got what 3 for 20.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We could have gave him 4 for 20. You know what I'm saying, or something like. And Jeremy Lin, instead of letting that go all the way out, they could have been like, "Yo, let's give you an Alonzo Trier contract." You know what I'm saying? A guaranteed, a 2-year deal, first year guaranteed, second year mutual option. Or team option.
You see,
but also free. Hold on a second, AD. But also, wasn't we cap strapped because of the fact that we just paid Melo and we had Amari and all that stuff like that, and then we still was trying to pay all of those old heads that we were holding on to. Am I correct?
But you drafted him, so you had his rights. You could have went over the cap.
Okay.
Well,
but obviously we weren't willing though, and
clearly we didn't need young wing players.
The horse was out the barn with Jeremy Lin after those first 6 games. You'd have never been able to sign him to a 2-1.
Right.
You would never. He was so at that point in time, the only person who didn't know he was probably that big might have been him because he was still sleeping on somebody's couch.
Landry Fields.
Exactly.
He was going to Bible study with that man.
His agent, whoever was about to be his agent or whatever, they knew what it was. They knew how to capitalize on him. So I'm not gonna do that to the Knicks for them. But sometimes, Freezy, remember a young guy that we had, his name skips me, young point guard during the Isaiah era, Frank something or another.
Frank Williams.
Frank Williams, right. I think he went
out of Illinois.
Right, he went to Illinois. After that one season, Frank was even on that playoff team, that one playoff team that Isaiah had. Yeah. And it seemed like Frank was going to be something.
Yeah.
Was that the year we got swept by the Knicks?
Yes. Oh, yes. Frank is that's the Fugazi year. Frank is somewhere on somebody's milk box carton for like the last 20 years. Does anybody know what happened to Frank?
Frank Williams probably owns like 3 Wendy's or something like that in the middle of
17.
And shout out to my Wendy's franchisees. Bam.
Shout out
look at Dre. Look at Dre in the game, man. Get money.
Hey, you laughing? I'm eating that for dinner too.
Keep business alive, bro.
Ain't nothing wrong with a spicy chicken sandwich, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dave's Double.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, AD, what you were saying about Frank Williams, that's true. That's true, right? You remember how negotiations went with Xavier McDaniel?
Horribly.
Yeah, he wanted too much money. with bad knees. I remember it at the time. I mean,
too much
they were trying to
knee.
bring him back on something friendly.
They were trying to bring him back on something funky.
On some whatever, but Boston, because if you remember, Boston at that time was in transition, and they were just right. They had Reggie Lewis, who was about to be a star.
Yeah.
Right. But
God bless the dead.
God bless the dead. They were just all over the place. They had Bagley and all these different components and pieces, all these slow big white guys that they were drafting.
Man, Boston was
Dino Rogers.
AD, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. Boston was trash. Can we?
Yes,
that Boston team was trash. They needed help. Bro, they second best player was a dude named D Brown, who was a 6'1" shooting guard
with
disguising as a point.
Jumped his way into stardom.
You didn't even know who D Brown was. No lie. You didn't even know who D Brown. Like right now, when you go in the NBA store and you see a jersey hanging up and you see number 7 Brown, you're not thinking about D Brown.
I'm thinking Javen.
The D Brown of my era is the one that went to Illinois and went far into that.
With the headband, the cornrows.
Yeah. Had Luther Head and the other dude.
D Brown was a big time college
Gary Williams.
Yeah,
D Brown
that was a nice 3-headed monster in college for that run though.
Yeah, they had. Didn't they have Brian Cook?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
that was a big man, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Soft stretch big though. He was soft.
Super soft.
In today's era, I think that dude is 20-10, bro. At
Easy.
40%.
You know who would be nice in this era, Freezy? Keith Van Horn would average 25 in this era.
Oh, Keith Van Horn. Oh my God.
You see what Laurie Markkinen is doing? He would do the exact same thing.
Yep.
If not better.
And with more personality. The dude, Keith Van Horn.
They tried to punk him because he went to like a Mormon school or something like that. But
no, he went to Utah. He went to Utah. He didn't go to BYU.
Nah, he went to Utah. His point guard was Andre Miller.
Right. He went to Utah, but if you remember with Keith Van Horn, and it was the same thing with Tom Gugliotta. Right.
Skill base.
Once they started getting the LB attached to them, which was the NLB, which is the next Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Crushed under the weight.
It was too. You know who?
The
Pat
weight.
The Gonzaga guy. Remember that Gonzaga
Austin
guy?
Crochet?
Austin quote, but those guys in particular.
Hold on. One in particular right now who's playing in Charlotte, which we about to see him tomorrow. What's my man name? Gordon Hayward.
Yeah. Same thing, but Gordon a little different because Van Horn comes on at the end of the Larry Bird,
era.
Him and Gugliotta and these guys, and Van Horn was, I think he's
and Christian Laettner,
Adam Morrison.
I think he's number 2. I think he was drafted behind Duncan as number 2 pick.
I thought Adam Morrison would have been nice because he was a killer. In college, he was a killer, but in college, he was a killer.
But the lack of ball handling skills and passing is what destroyed him.
Morrison.
Morrison, yeah, and the fact that Adam Morrison, and the fact that he couldn't defend his mama, you know what I'm saying, in an argument.
Adam Morrison is Bill Bradley.
Adam Morrison had a medical. Adam Morrison had a medical condition. Adam Morrison was type 1 diabetic.
Yeah, but he was brittle. His body was brittle.
He was brittle, but he was not going to be anything with his skill set because he was slow. He couldn't get off his own shot.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And he had the horrible distinction of being drafted by Michael Jordan.
I think he was their second. He was their second draft pick.
If Michael Jordan drafts you, you garbage.
Yeah,
or not garbage, but
he's gonna destroy you.
He didn't draft. Like, I don't believe he drafted Kemba Walker. Someone told him to draft Kemba Walker.
And the thing, one other thing about Adam Morrison is Adam Morrison had a lot of valleys, but once he could get his medical stuff right, he was okay. But he just couldn't sustain that. That's the reason why when you go back and look at my man on YouTube,
4 points.
No, this dude had a huge game against the Knicks. I'm gonna find it too, by the way.
A lot
This
of
dude
people,
had a
lot of
mega
people
game
had
against
huge
the Knicks.
games against the Knicks. What are you
Yeah, this dude
saying?
had a mega game against the Knicks, bro.
This done got checks. This done got new contracts of playing the Knicks. Oh my
but the Hornets, I mean the Bobcats, you remember their first pick was Emeka Okafor. And then the next year they drafted Anna Morrison, and then the year after that they drafted Byron Mullins out of Ohio State.
Why did Emeka Okafor go that high?
Because he was a
dominant.
baller.
He was a yo. You do not remember him? You were
dominant.
No. I know that he was dominant in college, but he was still a 6'8" center.
Yeah,
Pretty
but
much.
I agreed.
And they probably saw Ben Wallace dominate, so they thought
no,
maybe
he's a little taller than that, and he had way better offensive skills than Ben Wallace.
Yeah, and he had and the dude had been dominant at every circuit at every level, and he would have been the number one pick until that year leading up to it when because mind you, when he was drafted, we're talking about the 2004 NBA draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the 2003 NBA draft was probably one of the greatest, probably top 5 greatest drafts ever, right? The 2004 draft, and y'all know how it goes. Usually, when you have a generational draft, the year after it is trash. Generally, it just happens. You rarely get a stitch of time where you have 3 great super deep drafts back to back. Right.
That was the era like when upperclassmen were still getting taken at the top of the draft.
Yeah.
So, and the idea of like a finished product really mattered. But like, if you think about it, like Sheldon Williams went like number 5, bro.
Yeah,
and he was trash.
Trash.
I'm trying to think who was number 1 that year that Okafor got picked.
Dwight Howard.
Right.
That's what I was going to tell you. That Okafor was going to be number 1 until Dwight Howard bust onto the scene as a high schooler.
The Dwight Howard came into the gym in tank top and shorts and was like, he's number 1.
Number 1.
They didn't even see Dwight Howard play a stretch. They just saw that man came to the gym.
Man, they showed the shoulders and they were like, he's 18, right? Okay.
Yeah.
17, 18.
And coming a shot.
And the kid Sebastian Telfair, we thought was going to be a top 5 pick. Remember him?
Yep. Went like 10th, 11th.
Hey, Jay-Z was hedging his bets between him and LeBron. That's what he was doing at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
He picked both of them, and then he found out one was a bust, and he never associated with Sebastian Telfair after 2003.
No. Well, he had Sebastian's draft party at the 40-40. If you remember,
right. That's what I'm saying. He was hedging his bets.
Yeah, because Sebastian before he was even drafted signed a deal with Adidas.
Yep.
Like right off the top, I think Slam magazine had him and LeBron on the magazine
cover
together.
Mm-hmm.
That's how hyped he was. But I mean, in high school, he was just so good, bro. Like.
He didn't get any shine in the Point Guards documentary, which I thought was a shame.
That was a shame too.
What I thought was a shame because he was absolutely in high school phenom.
Right. Well, but then you know what I'm saying. The reason why they didn't do that is because it kind of. No, I don't know about that, but I'm talking about the fact that they didn't really put that in there about him because it would have leaked into the Stephon Marbury. You understand? It would have took away from Stephon Marbury.
But Stephon was before that. Stephon was 8 years before that.
And they could have tied in the family because remember,
they are cousins, but it's still a simple fact that it still would have kind of took away from the whole Marbury story and how he came up with his brothers and everything like that.
I think he still has a legal case right now, which is why he's not in it. Because I think he was in jail for like some gun charge, or him and his wife or something like that. Something weird. I remember it was like some gun charge, trying to take a gun on the flight or something like that. I don't if I recall correctly.
Who Sebastian? Sebastian got caught with a car with guns and weed.
Oh damn!
Sebastian
Even worse.
got caught with like 80 pounds of marijuana and, and like AR-15 and all kinds of crap in his car. You just see, look, Sebastian. That man had an absolute mental breakdown when he heard his time. You hear me? That man was dead. That man was bawling, ripping his shirt out of his pants. That man was not to laugh at a man in his problems.
But he made that decision though. So like,
yes, he did.
At that point, you can't even feel pity.
Yes,
you made that decision. You got to deal with it.
Yes, he
right.
did.
It's one of those things. But here's the thing. In that draft, the New York Knicks with their only pick, I think the Knicks only had one pick in that draft. I think they either took LeVar Postell or Trevor Ariza, one of them.
What was LeVar Postell, I think.
Yeah, I remember LeVar Postell.
We had both of them. It's just I don't know
at the
which
same
one.
time.
Postell came first. Postell was first. Well, we had Ariza. Ariza was like the youngest player in the NBA when we had him.
Right, and here's the thing too, Lee, about that. In the RJ draft, we took a guy out of UCLA that was a carbon copy of Trevor Ariza. Same age, jump out the gym, mega defender, no offense, could only shoot the three. Like couldn't dribble. And I'm talking about he was Trevor Ariza at the same stage. They were at the same stages at the same stage. You feel me?
Who are you talking about?
Like, I forget the dude. I was gonna say we signed him to an Exhibit 10 deal. He was a 6'9" small forward out of UCLA. We signed him to an undrafted free agent deal.
What year was that, Freezy?
I think it was either RJ or Knox. It was either RJ or Knox draft.
Was he in summer league?
Yes. And he wouldn't get run because he had legal issues. He had legal issues, so they never played him. And then the dude just disappeared off the planet.
Sounds about right.
Like, damn, you think I'm the researcher, man? I mean, I can usually find it, but
sounds about right.
The dude had so much ability.
UCLA, you say, right?
Yep, UCLA. He reminded me of the cat that Golden State drafted named Ekpe Udoh. Y'all remember him?
Yeah.
Ekpe Udoh, they drafted him in the first round. It kind of moved like Harrison Barnes.
Right.
And then Golden State, like 3 years later, drafted the Ekpe Udoh again, and
Chris
his name was
Wilkes?
Harrison Barnes. That
Chris
name
Wilkes?
sounds familiar. Is he 6'8"?
I'll tell you right now. He is 6'8", 215.
I think that's who you're talking about.
Chris Wilkes with a K, right?
Right. I think that's who you're talking about.
Yep.
He's played. Well, in college, he played 66 games.
I see him. That's his face. Yep. NBA draft 2019. Yep, that's him. That's him. When we got him, bro, I thought.
Thanks, Dre.
Yeah, he's still 24. That's crazy,
bro. When we got him, I was like, and AD, this is why I have Knicks on the brain. I gotta do this shit, because if I don't do this show, I'll just be walking around saying Knicks stuff to myself. I didn't even realize, because of dudes like Louis Labarriere and Chris Wilkes, Tony Wooten.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Anthony Randolph. If I don't say this stuff to y'all, bro, I'll just be carrying these names around in my head.
Anthony Randolph was 15 years ahead of his time. He should have been drafted now.
He'd be a stretch 5 right now.
Because they wouldn't know what to do with his skill set at that time. Small power forwards weren't in yet.
They knew what to do with it. They traded it. They traded him to us.
Yeah.
And I always say this for D'Antoni's credit. D'Antoni was honest to a fault.
Yep.
That man got on ESPN one afternoon, and they were asking him about, because remember when we got Randolph, it was like, ooh, I think he had just won like Rookie of the Year or something like that, or he was second, averaging like 15, 16. It's like, whoa, what is this? We losing David Lee, but
this could box of talent,
right? This could work with Amari somehow, some way that man could not get off the bench. And
James Wiseman.
D'Antoni was like, no, worse than Wiseman, because Wiseman is worse than him because Wiseman is overall number 2. But D'Antoni was like, look, if it comes to developing this, young player, he said, I have games to win.
Yep.
I gotta win games.
Or I'm fired.
Right? This is a man that was used to winning 58 games a year with Phoenix.
Yep.
You know how bad at defense you got to be to not play for D'Antoni?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was kind of like aloof.
Millionaires.
When he played aloof, like he was just floating around on the court aimlessly. He was just going which way the wind blew him.
Anthony Randolph?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing too, the tantalizing thing that frustrates you with Anthony Randolph is it's kind of like what you see out of Obi at times.
Yes.
Like in the gym and like individual workouts, they do
The potential.
Like Anthony Randolph's handles for a dude 6'10" were sick. In the
He was
game,
like a prototype Anthony Davis, like a little bit smaller when he first came out.
But the thing with Anthony Randolph is if he ever shot a jumper and it went in, he ain't touching the paint again for 2 weeks.
He's just gonna keep shooting.
Yes, and that is what drives
and he was gangly.
Yes,
and he was awkward. He's the
and
kind
super
of,
athletic.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy he could hurt his own teammates.
Yes,
because his arms and everything, he would flail. I mean, it was just one of those things. It's like, yo, how come you can't? This team is not good enough to where you can't get him a couple of minutes on the floor.
Yes,
they couldn't. It's like, is there any game footage with that man?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Mozgov was a little bit like that too, blocking shots, mess around and block shots and elbow Melo in the nose. Like
Mozgov stole a lot of money in the league. He stole a lot of money.
Mozgov stole a lot of money. Cleveland traded 2 first-round picks for that man.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, I don't know if y'all remember, but coming down to the wire, the Knicks were really interested in a dude named Amir Ashik. Right, but Ashik wanted too much money, so they were like, "Yo, these 2 Russian centers, the Knicks are gonna get one. It just depends on who they can negotiate with." And Mozgov took the bread with the Knicks, and the Bulls paid out the nose for Ashik.
I like Ashik, but
he's not Russian, by the way. I think he's Turkish. I think.
Right.
Yeah,
I like
Ashik,
but he was not that. Ashik was good with Thibodeau in that system because they had a couple of other bigs. And he was a good big body that
a good rotational center.
A good rotational, because remember, it was him, Gibson, the other one that stole money from the Knicks, Noah. They had
Thomas.
Thomas. They had a rotation, of bigs.
They had Marcus Fizer one time.
Right, yeah. Carlos Boozer.
Yeah.
They had a collection of bigs over there, but he was.
He had the classic big man issues like broken bones in his foot.
Yeah. He's good to be big. Remember Travis Knight that Patino gave all that money to?
Oh my God!
Travis Knight is number 40 for the Knicks.
Yeah, he played on the Knicks.
Oh,
what about Michael Doliak?
Oh. Michael Doliak, and every time I see Hartenstein, I think Doliak, bro.
Don't do Hartenstein like that.
No, don't do Hartenstein like that. Don't do Hartenstein like that. No, don't do
him like that.
Okay. I won't. If y'all answer me this, I won't do it. If y'all answer me this,
gladly.
Answer me this: has Hartenstein scored 20 points in the game yet?
Nope.
But you know why he doesn't? Only like 4 players
score 20 points in the game.
Only like 4 players on his team are allowed to score 20 points.
No, I get it. I get that part. I'm not knocking Hartenstein. I like Hartenstein right now. Right before he got healthy, I was like, "Yo, this dude Hartenstein. I don't know. Get him out of." You know what I'm saying? You know how patient we are as Knicks fans, right? But let me get back to the nitty gritty. I just want to ask y'all this. I'm not really concerned about how this team I'm talking about for this point that I'm trying to get over. I'm not really concerned about what this team does in the playoffs because I'm gonna reserve my thoughts on the playoff push when the playoffs come.
Right.
I don't want to prejudge it, right? What I want to do is think about this season though. Is this season a random season, or is this season should this season rank up there with the Pat Ewing type seasons, the 50-win seasons? That's where I'm lost at. I don't know how to think about it.
It might be a soft landing question, but like you say, those 51 seasons, those were consecutive. Like they happened repeatedly, and you couldn't
era.
really make that. Yeah, like you couldn't really make that distinction until it happened repeatedly. Like
Right.
we can say from the outside looking in, it looks very sustainable, but who knows? Maybe we have a rash of injuries in the next few years, and the whole team just collapses within itself. But from the point of it right now, it looks like we may have Randall through his prime. We're gonna have Brunson through his prime. RJ's developing. IQ is coming of his own. It looks pretty sustainable in terms of our assets and being able to flip and continue to progress where we might be a 51 team for years to come. I don't know if we'll ever be a complete title contender until we make maybe one more move. But to compare it to the Patrick Ewing era is hard to do because the whole point of the Patrick Ewing era is that you were locked into 50 wins regardless.
Not the whole era. I'm saying it in a sense like would you consider this season along with that era? I'm not comparing it alongside.
No, you gotta.
As good as those seasons.
Yeah.
You gotta pick a year. Like if you're gonna pick a year out of the Ewing's year that could be similar to this team, it would be that 92, right? The more games they win in a row, that it would be like 93. Right? Because the 93 season, I believe they win 17 out of 19 games in the end.
Ooh.
Right? I believe Ewing goes on a, torches Elijah Wan, torches Robinson. He was just torching the big guys towards the end. He has a crazy end of 93. I think 93 is their best home winning season. They might have won 37 or 39 games at home that year.
That's crazy.
Some crazy, right? Because they were unbeatable at home that season. So maybe and you can't even compare them because this team in that manner, because this team's home record is nowhere near that team's home record.
No, but what I can say in this team's defense is that I can see the ascension of that becoming into what we're talking about. For the simple fact that I see them coming together, and it's coming together organically, in the simple fact that they want to play with each other, and there's no one ego above one of the team or each other in that manner. You understand what I'm saying? Where we all had to, everybody had to kind of slick bow down to Pat because Pat was the team. And we do not have anybody who's a clear cut, this is my team. You understand what I'm saying?
They never put around someone of equal skill or
Pat wasn't allowing it.
Of course.
This is above my like past my age group, so I wouldn't know the politics of everything that happened.
Freezy, I understand where you're going with this. Of course, Pat would not allow that because this was going to be his team. This is just like the whole thing about everybody. I'm gonna come to free agent and I'm gonna team up with what is so-called the best player in the league, and we're gonna have a super team.
So
you understand
Pat
what I'm saying? This is
mellow in him or something.
Huh?
Pat had like a little mellow in him.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I was like, Pat had a little mellow in him, like he wouldn't allow it.
No.
The
Melo thing. The thing with Melo wouldn't allow it because of money. Melo was like, "Give me all the money, and then y'all go get who y'all can with what's left over.
Figure it out with the scraps, man."
Yeah, Pat Ewing, bro. There were times with a rumor mill. Like I remember this distinctly at the beginning of '92, where Philly was like trying to transition, and Charles Barkley was available, and they was kicking around landing spots in 93, at the end of 92, 93, where I think the Lakers had officially traded Charles Barkley or traded James Worthy to the Sixers for Charles Barkley straight up. And the worst deal you ever saw in your life. You're like, why would you just take James Worthy, 10-year veteran, behind for Charles Barkley, who got at least 4 years left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can then come out, the Lakers cancel the deal after it leaked, and you know what I'm saying? They don't want to, you know what I'm saying? The Knicks were in a lot of those situations. The Knicks legit traded Pat to David Robinson to the Spurs for David Robinson, and when the Spurs were going to they wanted to tell David Robinson face to face and couldn't. The Knicks officially agreed to a trade, patting you into the Spurs for David Robinson and $8 million. And $8 million to then is like $40 million now to a team like the Spurs. You know what I'm saying? A small market team who need them. You know what I'm saying?
I think my 11th grade shop teacher started that rumor first.
I saw it in the paper.
I promise. No. But before I saw it, no, I remember that. But before, he was trying to convince me, because he was he was Jamaican as well, and he's like, he's by my last name, so he's like, Anthony, come on. Ewing had a lot of injuries the first couple of seasons. Yep. And it was like, come on, Robinson would be better. Get this Curry going out of here. And that was like one of the few Knicks. I mean, I used to go to war for Pat, yo.
Yes.
I used to go to war for Pat.
Right.
Like, are you crazy?
Right.
You want to trade the Hoya Destroyer for some guy that looks cool in whites?
Right.
Like in his, as my guy would say, a few good men in his faggoty whites. Is that what you're trading? Is that what you're trading, Pat? I mean, I used to go to war for Pat, yo. Like,
and mind you, at that time, David Robinson was only in the league for what, 3 seasons?
He wasn't even. It wasn't even that long. This was like,
because they drafted him in '87.
Yeah,
he didn't
show up till '88.
In '89, yeah, him and Sean Elliott showed up together as rookies.
Yeah, they were trying to push him out, literally before he even got there. They were trying to make this. They're trying to make this happen.
Yeah,
like, are you crazy? What are you talking about? Like, I'm not doing this. I'm not trading Pat for David Robinson.
For somebody who called themselves a seaman.
Yeah.
And this is no disrespect to David Robinson. David Robinson's a great ball player. I'm taking Pat over him every day, all day.
Every day.
Twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yep. My only when I think about NBA centers, though, I think David Robinson invented a prototype of the center position. Right? I think Pat did. I think Pat did as well. I think Pat is like, and been saying this for years, and people don't understand what I'm saying, but Pat is the combination of every center from Elijah Wan all the way through Shaq. Pat takes a part of every center and does all of it well. He's the Kareem, the Parrish, the Russell, the Chamberlain, all these things, the Jack Sigmas, there was a time when Pat could put it on the floor.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a time when Pat. There was a time when the only reason why Pat didn't shoot the three is because of the rebounding aspect. I'm confident that
big.
Pat.
They wouldn't allow your big to shoot threes
because if your center is shooting threes, who's rebounding?
Who's rebounding?
Yep.
That's 1+1 in old school, basketball. Yep. If your bigs are taking these threes, you expect the mouse in the house.
Right.
They literally call anybody under 6'8" a mouse.
Right.
That kind of reminds me of a funny statistic, Fred. And it was like in 1992, the record for most threes in the game was like 49, and that record lasted for like 25 years. And now every team takes 49 threes in a game at least once.
Yeah. Yeah.
But once a week.
Yeah, at least once, right? But the thing I was ultimately what I'm getting at is this season here to me is not like the '97 season, which for my money is a top 10 Knicks season of all time, right? It's
Are
not
you
like the
serious?
yeah. Is it '97 or '96? What are we thinking? '97 or '96?
I know the season you're talking about. They won 57 games that year, I think, or something like that. But it ended so disgustingly. It's infamous, if anything. It's remembered because it's
Yeah, the
infamous.
'97 season. Yeah.
Yeah, it's remembered because it's infamous because of what happened.
Right. Right. And we won 57 games and didn't win the division.
No, you wasn't gonna win the division with Michael Jordan winning 69 games.
Right.
How many divisions were there at that time? They had to be less, right? 'Cause there were-
Two.
Nah, it was the same. It was the same thing we got now.
Two in the Eastern Conference, two in the West.
oh yeah, there's three now. I was gonna say there's
Yeah,
three.
it's three now, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because they made the Southern divisions. That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But this season here, man, I want to put AD. I want to put it on that shelf where those seasons are because of the way we started out, the way we looked like dog food in the beginning, and then have like that. Because right now, whether Knicks fans know it or not, but this is the feeling. This feeling right now where we're in is the same feeling with 20 games left that we had in '99.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Well-
That team should have been the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, but they got off to such a slow start.
Didn't dudes
that-
come into the season out of shape and
No, they were
No.
Dudes were hurt.
they were hurt?
And-
No, and when that wasn't that the season that was stalled
It was the
because of the
lockout.
lockout.
That's why I
Lockout.
was like, that's why I assumed that was the season. Like dudes came into the season out of shape. Like Larry Johnson already had back problems, so it took him a while to like ramp up. And I don't think he played like the whole year.
But also too, that's the year we stole Spreewell too.
Yeah,
We got him for a song.
Well, he
not
traded
Starks.
John. He
Not
traded
really.
John Starks.
yeah. I don't agree with Lee. I don't,
not a song.
Yeah, you traded John Starks in the first round pick for
Yeah,
Sprewell.
and if
I
it-
mean,
Oh, I didn't know a first round pick. Nah,
That-
my bad.
That was one of the first times I cried when we lost the player.
yeah.
I was a
I love
child,
that
though.
dude, bro. I love that dude. And then Lee, and then here's the thing. Golden State sucked that year, right? But
Mhm.
the thing is the Knicks were in the playoffs and John Starks came to the game
Yes,
as
he
a
did.
visiting
Yes,
player
he
with
did.
suit and tie.
And tore the house down.
Bro, you talk
Tore the
about
house down.
Knicks moments.
Yep.
See
Yeah, all right, you right. I apologize.
that is a Knicks moment. Like Randall hitting that three the other night against Miami. To me, that's a Knicks moment. But Starks coming back as a visiting player in the Garden and just standing there in the walkway and in the tunnel leading up to the seats and just waving at everybody in the Garden and the Garden going crazy,
Bananas.
bro. Yeah, that's a moment, bro.
Bananas. Because the love was there. The love
Yeah.
was genuine.
Yep.
Celebrity was different in that era because social media kind of drowns out how you view certain players. Like you wouldn't see an NBA player, but in an arena,
Right.
for that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
for that time, yeah.
But that
Starks-
goes.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
But Starks coming back, and ironically, ironically, every time we do this, it's the Golden State Warriors, bro. So the Knicks trade my guy, my favorite player at the time, who let me down, Michael Ray Richardson, to the Golden State Warriors because he had a drug issue, to the Warriors for a small forward that had an alcohol issue from New York. Imagine that, a small forward from New York playing for the Golden State Warriors, and he's got an alcohol issue. Which player you think I'm talking about? Chris Mullin?
No, sir. You talking about? Come on, man. You talking about
Bernard King,
Bernard
right?
King. Come on, number 30.
Yeah, Bernard King. Right. And then so they trade him to there, and then And then in 2010, they trade my favorite player on the Knicks at the time, David Lee,
Oh Jesus.
to the Golden State Warriors
Mm,
to create cap space so that we could sign Amari.
mm.
The Golden State Warriors are like a bizarro alternate universe Knicks. It's like except like everything works out for them at
Except
some point.
everything works out for
Well,
them.
it just started because remember they had a lot of you know what I'm saying, like
Trash. Yeah, trash.
outside of that run against Dallas
With
between
Baron Davis.
between that run
And
against
TMC,
Dallas and run TMC, there hadn't
nothing.
been anything.
Void.
There wasn't anything since Barry in the '60s.
Yeah,
So
they were
so that means
high.
we're gonna
They
get a
just wasn't.
title in 2035, is what you're saying. We're gonna get a dynasty around there.
I mean, at some point in time, the win has to change.
Yeah,
There's these teams that have won championships. Cleveland. Did you
right.
ever think Cleveland
No,
would win
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee?
Oh my,
Cleveland?
Toronto.
Who next? Sacramento?
Phoenix is gonna get it this year. Phoenix.
No, they're not.
Phoenix?
Yeah. Phoenix gonna win it this year, bro.
We're not gonna speak that into existence.
I mean
Who
that's
next?
them. That's a
Charlotte?
Western Conference issue. That's not our problem. That's not my beef. I don't even care.
Thank you.
Yo,
But the
look
point
who in
is,
the building. Yo, my guy is in the building.
who's that? City? For real. Salute.
That's salute.
Shout out to the BX.
Yo,
Shout out
what's
to
good?
the Boogie Down. What's good,
Yo,
boss?
my people. Y'all know what I gotta do, right? Y'all know what I gotta do, right?
Do it.
Put them on. Put them in.
Do it.
Huh?
Do it.
Y'all know what I gotta do, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it in. Let's light this thing up one time. You know what I'm saying? For all
Let's
for
go.
all
Yeah, man.
for all the Knicks fans, for all the Knicks people out here, we gonna light it up one time. If I can find the switch, man. I can't find the switch. Hold on. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Wait. I gotta get some better lighting in here because I'm sitting in the bedroom right now. But yo, give
What's
me a
good, boss?
rundown. Give me a rundown what y'all talking about.
Yo, nah, man. Can we do a roll call real quick, man, please?
Oh,
You in game shape? You in game shape?
No, I gotta get the computer turned on.
Okay. Don't worry about it then. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I
You know
just
what I'm
got
saying?
in there. But yeah, yo, hey, just give me the drop on the roll call joint, man. And you know how I like
Yo, I gotta. You know what? I gotta do an animation for the roll call, bro. Let me create a roll call for the. An animation for the roll call, man, and then we'll do it.
right? But
Yeah, man.
I
But
want to
but
get in. I want to get in there with what y'all with whatever y'all was talking about.
how you
I
feel
wanna
about
get
this
in there.
season? That's what we talking about. How you feel about this season?
I feel. Hey man, look, I feel good, man. Like you know what I'm saying. I feel like I felt every season because I'm a Knicks fan. You know what I'm saying? So every season is always a feel good season. But when we don't do good, it's one of those things. But I'm optimistic and I feel good about it, man. Like you know what I'm saying? Like the only thing I can say is this, right? We balling out, we doing good. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where you got to take it with a grain of salt, right? Right? Like you got to take it with a grain of salt where you got to look at things and you got to say, well, we riding a high streak right now. If we lose one, we lose one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't nobody get salty. Don't nobody start throwing shade at all of the players and being like, oh, just because this guy missed two shots, we gotta kick him off the team and trade him for somebody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know
Right.
me. I've always been one of those guys where I'd be like, yo, let's ride with what we got. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
with it. I'm with it. I'm with it, bro. I'm with it. I'm with it,
I'm with
Freeze.
you. I'm with you, bro. I'm
I'm
with you.
riding it out.
I just don't know how to, like, I don't know where to rank this season, man. I want to put this season on this season, not the postseason, because it ain't here yet, so we don't know how to rank it. I'm talking about
Hmm.
this feeling though, where we at right now. I want to put it up there with
Hmm.
99.
Really?
Really,
Mm.
99?
99.
Y'all got way more
Uh,
years of like good Knicks basketball because it starts for me at 97. So I only got but like 4 or 5 years of actual good basketball
mhm.
and like 17 years of garbage.
Right, right. Yeah, no doubt. And but the thing about it, Dre, is man, it's all okay, bro. It's all okay. Like when I talk to my uncles and them, my uncles, like my uncle, I said, how do you feel about this Emmanuel Quickly kid? You know what he said to me? He said, I like him better than I like that Strickland boy that used to come off the bench.
Rod.
And
More
and,
than
and I was like,
Strickland.
and I was like, you think Quickly is better than Rod Strickland? He was like, yeah, as a Nick. And he's like, no, I think he gonna be better than Rod Strickland overall. I was like, are you sit, go
But
sit your old ass down.
isn't it like a thing that Rod Strickland underachieved for his whole career relative to his skill set?
Yes,
Because he should have
that
been
is
way, way better
absolutely a
than what
thing.
he actually. And to be absolutely honest, the way it quickly works, whatever he's going to be, he will reach it, barring injury.
Right, right,
I think
right.
Ross Strickland had like an alcohol problem, and you know better than I
Facts.
know. So you could
You know,
tell in his yearly photo, like his eyes look bloodshot red in every photo.
Rod Strickland didn't average 17 points a game until he was 27. Rod Strickland was in his Rod Strickland was in his sixth season
and
is when he
and
averaged.
and like when I watched, like I've actually watched like entire games where Rod Strickland has played, and
Right,
it looked like he had mastery and control of the ball. Like he could do whatever he wanted whenever he felt like it, but he just never felt like it. Like he just never felt
right,
like putting his imprint on the game at all
right.
and,
times.
and on top of that, he wasn't a great shooter, which you know what I'm saying. New York point guards live with.
But of that era, not very many point guards were great shooters.
Right,
Like
right.
Stockton, maybe a few others, but like
Um,
you saw Phil. I mean, not Phil Jackson. Mark Jackson was a great point guard for his time, and he was never a great shooter, from what I
right,
can recall. So
right.
whatever I could glean, like, but he always took the initiative to put his impact and his pace on the game. And Rod Strickland just felt like I'm getting this NBA check, so I'm gonna just take a step back, and I'm getting paid, so it don't really matter if I put my impact and my full imprint on the game as much as I want to. Also, it seemed like it had to do with uh situations because he was also splitting time with Mark Jackson when he first got to the league. So
Yeah, it seemed like he was always splitting time with somebody.
right,
That's another part to it too. Like it
right,
seems as if he was like the dude. It was always like 60-40 and never 80-20 with him.
right.
Even when he was a starter, his backup was so good that his backup got a lot of run, it seemed like.
Because even when I started watching basketball, I remember him being on the Wizards and he had a point guard he played along with named Whitney or something like that, or
Yep.
Courtney,
Yep.
one of them.
No, Whitney.
Chris,
It was Whitney,
Chris,
Chris Whitney.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And he split time there. So
Yep. Yep.
it's like it was stunted growth. That's also a YouTube channel I like to watch.
Yeah, me too. I watched it. I saw the Capone and Noriega the other day
Oh,
on it.
yeah, he does do a hip hop one, right?
Yeah. He and I saw Big L, the not Big L, but the Drag On one.
Right.
Mm.
Bam, there
I
we
thought.
go. We fight
I
her.
thought. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah,
We
man.
got the city lights going on, man.
Bam,
Let's go.
bam. Hey y'all. Hey, yo, I hate to cut it right here, man, but I gotta go because I gotta do something super early in the morning. I gotta do
Peace,
something at like
Dre.
8 o'clock. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I was wanting to hang out for a while, but um, yeah, I gotta get out of here early.
Yeah,
You
show
know.
y'all love down in there. Show y'all love down in there before we
Yeah,
bounce
man.
out. Show
Yeah,
y'all
man.
love down in there. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Show your love in the chat, man. Um, I'm probably gonna jump on tomorrow afternoon after all this stuff. But New York, we here. It's a good time
All
to be a
day.
Knicks fan. It's a great time to be a Knicks
Great
fan.
time.
City, is always great to see you, bro. Chat, it's always great to see
For
y'all,
sure.
man. Thank y'all for coming out, hanging out with us, man, as we rock and roll and reminisce and talk that talk the way that y'all like to have that talk to y'all. You know what I'm saying? New York, we here. We out of here, y'all.
For
We out.
Peace.
sure.